What up, everyone? After a couple of weeks, I'm finally ready to review Logan on 4K UHD. Bam, bam, bam. I gotta tell you guys, I had LASIK surgery a week and a half, or a little over a week ago, and my peepers are really coming in nicely. I had to have the bad kind of LASIK where basically you call PRK, where basically there's a healing time and it takes a couple of weeks for your full vision to come in. But apparently I already improved by 50% in 1 week. And this is the second week, and I got to tell you, my eyes are just looking amazing right now. And I'm really loving the super peepers. Being able to watch 4K movies without glasses is awesome, especially on a new TV I just picked up. So yeah, it looks. I'm really enjoying myself right now. So I'm finally ready to review Logan. No, Fox Home Video did not send this to me. I had to pay for this out of my own pocket, which is pretty good considering the fact that I didn't like this movie in the theater. I thought it was kind of boring. It looked drab. It was depressing as hell. And the problem is, it made me not want to watch any of the other X-Men movies, because I now know that no matter what these people do, their future is basically bleak. And it's like, why bother watching a movie when I know no matter what they do, they're not going to change their fate. Their future's always going to be bleak, and everyone's going to end up dying in the end. So that's kind of depressing. I'm like, I don't want to watch any of those X-Men movies anymore ever again. And I love the first two movies, and I love 4 Days of Future Past and the other one. Apocalypse, not so much. So anyway, the kind folks at Fox Home Video, they don't send me Blu-rays anymore because they have this amazing online screening room where they're like, when I'm like, can I get a 4K release? And I'm like, no, go watch it online. And I'm like, but it's not in 4K. We don't care. Watch it online. So anyway, and I'm not saying their screening room is actually one of the best ones around. It's gorgeous. It's nicely formatted. It has pretty much every Fox home video release for the next 6 months are up there already. It's pretty nice. And it all streams pretty solidly in 1080p. So that aspect of it I really love, but it's not in 4K. And we're all about the 4K, people. It's the modern world. 4K. Fox, send me 4K videos or 4K, Blu-rays. So anyway, the Logan release is a really nice overall package. And back to my Logan movie story. So I actually watched this last week. Well, not last week, but a few nights ago with my new super eyeball. And I got to tell you, I may have to reevaluate what I thought about it, because maybe my expectations. Well, I walked in with low expectations. I can't say my expectations were too high when I saw this the first time. But I liked it a lot better. It holds up pretty well to repeat viewings. And I actually liked this a lot better. But I still feel like I want to see the movie that they kept talking about, where they were talking about the mysterious thing that Xavier did that basically ended up destroying all the mutants and all the schools. I want to know how Xavier went crazy. I want to know what happened to the X-Men Academy and what Xavier did, and how Wolverine Logan ended up in the place that he is. That's the movie I wanted to see. They kept alluding to it. They kept talking about, mentioning over on the side what happened, but I'm like, that's the movie I want to see. I don't want to see this long 2-hour boring, depressing thing here. I want to see that exciting thing you're talking about with the big action and explosions and everything I want out of my superhero films. I don't want depressing superheroes. I want superheroes that are actually happy, doing stuff, kicking ass at the same time. Most people love this movie because, it's bloody and it's R-rated. I'm sorry, but R ratings don't automatically make a movie great just because there's blood in it. I mean, I feel like a lot of times I'm reading comment section and reading reviews. I'm like, are you people like 12-year-old boys, or are you grown men, or are you grown people? Because a lot of these reviews come across as, ooh, blood, gore, guts. Ooh, I've never seen that before. Ooh, it's really fun and exciting and cool. But I'm going off on a tangent now. But the movie itself, liked it a lot better when I watched it this time. Maybe it's because I watched Logan Noir. I can't even say the word Noir. Logan Noir. The black and white version on 4K looks gorgeous. It looks really stunning, especially if you have a proper 4K TV. You can really see the shadow details that are really pop. I would say this is close to reference quality. It's not pure reference quality, but it's really gorgeous looking like 4K black and white transfer, and which you would think would be kind of stupid to watch a black and white movie on 4K HDR, but actually it makes a lot of sense because HDR is all about contrast ratios and making things pop, and then the 4K on this is really nice, sharp. It's clear, it's stunning. It's not reference quality, but Logan Noir, there's something about watching this in black and white that really does add a new layer to the movie. It makes it even more depressing than it already is, really. And then there's a color version, and I love the fact that, once again, we have very nice artwork on the disc. And I like the fact that it's a two-tone color, so you have the nice yellow version, the nice colorful version, and then you have the black and white version of the Logan Noir disc. So I don't think this is reference quality. I don't think this is reference quality just because the way the director chose to shoot it, because it's all kind of dark and grim and kind of grainy looking. There's a lot of grain in this, but that's how the director intended it. But the transfer really is nice and solid. I actually love Logan. I won't say I love Logan Noir, but I actually liked it a lot better than I did in the theater. This movie does hold up pretty well to repeat viewings, because once you have know what to expect, then it's easier to kind of like just let the story take you away. And again, I still love Daphne King, who played Laura, who was like the little girl in the movie. She actually really does an amazing job. It's amazing how mature young actors and actresses are. I mean, these people are like 12, 13 years old, and she's holding her own again with Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman. I forgot Hugh Jackman's name for a minute there. But the action, Logan is a killer. At his very core, Logan is a killer. So when he goes into berserker rage in this movie, it's like, oh my God, it really is eye-popping, gory. And I would go, despite what I said earlier, the movie should be gory. I mean, it absolutely should be, because that's what the character is. I just don't like the fact that people obsess over the fact that it's gory and obsess over the fact that every movie should have blood in it. I just don't understand that thinking. I just think a movie just needs to tell a really good story. And at the end of the day, I think James Mangold does a really good job with this story. The problem is, at the end of this movie, I don't want to watch another single X-Men or Mutant story, because it's all gonna basically ultimately be depressing in the end, and they're never gonna be happy. So this movie kind of ruins the entire X universe for me. It really does. But for what it is, I like the movie. When I originally reviewed the movie, I think I gave it like a C or D on Rotten Tomatoes, and now after watching this again at home with this 4K transfer, I would probably bump that up to a B minus. It really does work really well in the home environment, more so than on the big screen, I think. And again, the transfer is really gorgeous, really nice, and includes both the color version and the black and white version in glorious 4K UHD HDR. And let me see what the extras are. Basically, you get the theatrical version, you get a featurette called Making Logan, you get some deleted scenes, commentary with the director, and then that's about it. You get a commentary track on both. You get a director's commentary on both versions of the movie. I wonder if he talks about. I'm sure he probably has two separate commentaries, because the black and white version is kind of like watching a totally different movie at the moment. The audio, I can't tell what the audio track is on this, but the audio did sound nice on my 2.1 Soundbase. It sounded pretty solid. I heard things coming from behind me, even though I know it's simulated, so I know you purists are going to be like, you can't review audio with the 2.1 bass. I don't care what you guys think. I I listened to it. I liked it for what it was. I mean, would it be great if I had a 4K Atmos setup? Sure, but I don't, and I live in an apartment, so I can't have one anyway. So which is why I don't have it. But with my Sony Soundbase, it sounds great. I liked it. I can imagine it would be so much better with the true surround sound setup. So you audiophiles should be in for a treat. Overall, I would give the movie a B. Logan Noir is definitely an A. I love Logan Noir. That's a solid A minus movie. And for the transfer, I would give the transfer probably a B. The transfer is solid. It's not reference quality. And I want to say my A is for a truly eye-popping reference quality work. Like, an example would be, what's the Keanu Reeves movie I'm blanking? Oh, John Wick. The original John Wick on 4K Ultra HD. Now that's reference quality work. Planet Earth 2 it's boring as sin, but it's a reference quality transfer. But I would never watch it again just because I thought it was boring. But Logan on 4K. But overall, this package is a solid B. I really liked it. If you're a fan of the movie, there's no reason not to get it. I think it was $29 on Amazon when I picked it up. And again, you're getting two versions of the movie. You're getting the color version, the theatrical release version, and the black and white version. So you got to go with it. Logan on 4K UHD.